Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to take a deeper look inside the index action of my student's controller. Now, let's begin. Firstly, we talked about the index view and how to generate the codes for that, and also how to customize the layout and many other great tips and tricks. For the final part of the index view, it's really great idea to take a deeper look inside the student's controller and the index action. So let's get started. As you see over here, I have the student's controller, and inside it at the top, I have the index action. As I mentioned previously, the action is the method to prepare the view or to prepare the codes that are inside the model and something like that. So my index action is over here, from here up to this one. At the beginning, I have the method. It is the public, then async or asynchronous. So I have the asynchronous task, then I have the return value. It is the iAction result. Then the name over here. And after that, I'm going to return what? Return the await and the context students up to the to list async. It means hello C#, please load the data and convert it to the list asynchronous. Then return it back. So at the first look, it is a little bit complex and scary, but don't worry about anything. Let's start working with the simple one. Rename it something like this, the index one, and come over here and define the simple one, the public, then the iAction result. And this is the iAction result. Name it the index, for instance. And this is the result. Now I have the index action and the index one over here. So it's time to return the value. Which value? I need to use the context or DB context to load the data. So I can say return, this is the return, then the view. Which view? Inside the view, I can assign the data to return. It's very simple. Just write the underscore, then the context. It is the reference to my DB context. And as I mentioned, the DB context is the connector between the SQL database and the controller or the application. So I have the DB context, then add dot, and inside it I have the students. So this is the DB set or the reference to my models. And for your better understanding, if I take a look at this structure, first we talked about it. And over here I have the database, then the DB context, the DB set, and the model. So we can use the DB context to load the data from the database inside the model. Then we have the DB set as the reference to the model, and we can get access to the models or the data inside them using the DB set inside the controller, for instance. It's really simple and straightforward. Now let's come over here and come to my project, save everything, and start running it. This is the debug. Well done. Now I can see the results over here, and it means everything is working. Also, I can add a kind of breakpoint over here, and if I run and refresh the page like this, so after running or refreshing the page, this index is running automatically. And if I hover on the student and come to this one, the student has all of this data inside it, starting the student ID first name up to the end. Indeed, all of these are the data inside my SQL database and loaded inside the DB set. So these are exactly this data. So it's really great and amazing. Now if I come to the next one and go to the next one using the F10. So it's done and my page is loaded. But I got this error, so don't worry about anything. As I mentioned, my code is not secured completely. So there is already open data reader. It means you need to refresh, then uncheck this and go to the continue. So I haven't any problem. And if I refresh without any problem, I can work with it. And this error is because of the debug and breakpoint that I added over here. So let's take another look inside the auto-generated code. At the beginning, I have the asynchronous task. You can see it over here. Currently, I assume that you are familiar with the async and the task. So after running this line of the code, the Visual Studio will execute the index or index 1 asynchronously. or in other thread inside the CPU or inside the new thread of the CPU. Then check if the context student is null or not. If it's not null, then generate the view, but wait until loading the data and converting it to the list asynchronously. Then return the result and convert it to the view. And if you got any errors, show this message to the user. Entity set sql.students is null. So this is the error when we haven't the data or such data inside the DB context. It's really simple and straightforward. So I can come over here and let's select all of this, stop, and comment out all of this. So this is the comment out like this. I did it for your later using. So the functionality of my code and this are the same thing, but this one is more secure and more stable. Okay, excellent. I enjoyed. Now let's come over here and make it correct index name inside this one. Now if I run, I can see the amazing and great result. Let's be patient. So it's loaded, and if I continue, and this is the result without any problem. Congratulations, my mission for the wonderland of the index page is accomplished successfully. So what about the next step? In the next step, I'm going to talk more about the details, this page. Then I'm going to talk about the next one. Let's uncheck this. Great. Then I'm going to talk about the create, the edit, and the delete. So in the upcoming tutorials, I'll talk about all of this one by one. So don't worry about anything and just focus on your learning. Thanks for your time.